New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani and Governor Kathy Hochul made a big deal this year about launching a roadmap towards universal paid childcare in New York State. But there are many, many obstacles along that road, including the fact that in areas like the North Country, there just aren't enough places for parents to take their kids, whether they have the money or not. Another baby step in building more childcare is underway in Plattsburgh. That's today's story of the day.
Support for Story of the Day comes from the Wild Center in Tupper Lake, dedicated to strengthening visitors' connections to the natural world. More at wildcenter.org.
Hey, I'm David Summerstein. It's Monday, July 20th. First up, thousands of people competed in the Lake Placid Ironman yesterday. It's a huge economic boost for the Olympic Village. The grueling race includes a 1-mile swim, a 100-mile bike ride, and ends with a full marathon. Emily Russell has the story.
The Lake Placid Ironman starts on the shores of Mirror Lake. A little after sunrise on Sunday, thousands of athletes in wetsuits and swimming caps started gathering by the beach. By 6:15 a.m., the race was underway.
And they're off.
Finally, the gun goes off, and they're into the water and into the work. And
this is from the official Ironman live stream on YouTube. For nearly 10 hours on Sunday, cameras from drones and on motorcycles followed the top athletes throughout the course. After the 1-mile swim, the athletes transitioned to their road bikes for 2 loops throughout the high peaks. The 100-mile course took riders from Lake Placid down into Keene and up through Ausable Forks and Jay. They then rode west to Wilmington and back to Lake Placid to do it all over again.
I'll say it again. It's such a beautiful course here, such a beautiful part of the world. And Lake Placid showing off today what could have been a really rough go of it between wildfires and rain and temperatures and wind. Has certainly
in the days leading up to Ironman, smoke from Canadian wildfires had made its way into the Adirondacks. But on Sunday, the winds died down and the skies cleared up. Ironman is a huge annual event for the village of Lake Placid. It brings in roughly $16 million to the local economy. That's according to the Regional Office of Sustainable Tourism. This year's race was the 27th annual event for the region.
It's been going since 1999, and this one is firming up to be another absolute classic.
On the men's side, a Belgian athlete took the lead early on in the race. For much of the biking portion and the entire marathon, Martin Van Riel led the group of nearly 60 pro athletes in the men's division before running across the finish line.
Martin Van Riel wins in Lake Placid and lays down a marker for the Pro Series.
Last year, an American man had set a new course record in Lake Placid. Van Riel smashed that record on Sunday.
7:41.57, a new record by 8 minutes and change. And Martin Van Riel, well, he's the real deal, like you said. Incredible.
Last year's champion finished in second place, followed by another American man in third. On the women's side, the battle for first was between Marta Sanchez from Spain and Canadian Paula Finley. Finley had never raced a full Ironman before, but had won 14 shorter triathlons during her pro career. She pulled away during the marathon to clinch a win at her Ironman debut.
Paula Finley finally makes the step up to full distance racing, punches her ticket to Kona, and wins in a tick over 8:47.
Sanchez crossed the finish line just a few minutes after her, and an American woman took home third. Beyond the nearly 90 professional athletes who raced on Sunday, thousands more competed in the Ironman, from teenagers to men and women in their 70s. Emily Russell, North Country Public Radio.
Residents in Jefferson County pushed for the town of Luray to ban data centers. Richard Haller reports.
People gathered in protest at the town hall in Luray last Thursday, citing land, water, and energy cost concerns. They were responding to a project proposed by a central New York broker, Alan Olmsted. He's marketing hundreds of acres of land in Luray to host a new data center. He told WWNY-TV that he wants a more sustainable facility.
We don't want to see it continue to suck 1 million gallons of water a day or 300 megawatts of power a day. We can't just stop data centers, but we certainly can do better.
The town board agreed to increase a proposed moratorium on data centers to 12 months. Luray Town Supervisor Lee Carpenter told WWNY-TV that right now he's not on board with the proposed facility.
Data center needs a lot of water, a lot of power, and community support. And without that, there's just no way.
Governor Kathy Hochul has already signed a one-year moratorium restricting data centers statewide. New York is the first and only state to do so. Richard Haller, North Country Public Radio.
A plan for a new daycare center in Clinton County is expected to create 150 new childcare slots. But it's still years off, and advocates say there will still be a big gap between what's needed and what's available. Kara Chapman has more.
On a dead-end road in Plattsburgh's Air Industrial Park, there's a vacant 3-acre parcel.
It is full of trees. It is very undeveloped.
That's Danny King. She's the president and CEO of TDC, the economic development not-for-profit that owns the park. King says 3 acres is a bit small for industrial purposes, but this forested plot of land has a lot going for it as the possible future home of a 10,000-square-foot childcare center.
So there's no through traffic, so it's just a safer spot, and it's the perfect size for, that 10 or 11,000 square feet with outdoor play space, ample parking, and the ability to really create a safe and contained environment that's still very close to that really employment-dense part of the region.
According to TDC, the Air Industrial Park is within a 15-minute drive of 2/3 of the jobs in Clinton County. King says opening a child care center here is one of her longtime BHAGs, big, hairy, audacious goals. She sees it as a way to help the park's more than 24 companies recruit and retain workers, but also to help the workers themselves. King is a mom, and she says she's grateful that her husband stepped back from the workforce several years ago to take care of their kids, allowing her to shape the career she wanted. But she says not everyone has that luxury, and TDC wants to help others have the same opportunities for advancement at work.
If you don't have consistent, safe, care for your children where you can go to work and focus on work, it's very difficult to be able to take on new opportunities, to take on those, extra hour things that are going to build generational wealth, create lasting and more sustainable careers. And we want to help break down that barrier.
The plan is for TDC to build the facility, then lease it to a state-licensed childcare operator. The hope is that it'll create about 150 slots. The estimated construction cost is almost $5 million. Last month, a big chunk of funding came through when the Northern Border Regional Commission awarded TDC a $1 million grant. King says she hopes to have the remaining funding lined up by the end of the year. Her, quote, lofty goal is to have shovels in the ground in 2027.
I think that this problem is not going to get smaller without someone willing to walk the walk a little bit. So the sooner we can get this facility up and operational, the better.
150 childcare slots is a lot, but there's still a ways to go to close the gap between the number of local kids who need childcare and the number of available spaces. The Child Care Coordinating Council of the North Country estimates there are 3,000 to 5,000 children younger than 10 in Clinton County who need childcare. There are currently 1,800 slots licensed by the state. But Jamie Basilier, who leads the council, says about 350 are in part-day programs like a special education preschool or Head Start center that operates on the school calendar.
So while they fill a very important role in the early childhood system in our region, they're not designed for working families who are working Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. or something like that.
Basilier says that leaves only about 1,500 available slots for working families countywide, less than half of what's needed.
So even the 150 that the new center creates, it'll be fabulous. We'll still have a need for high-quality childcare.
King acknowledges the numbers aren't great, but she says opening a childcare center is critical for economic development.
Right now, our focus is just increasing the number of safe, accessible spots for children to have quality care so that their parents can participate in the workforce.
And the hope, she says, is that more options will mean better choices for the families raising the next generation of the North Country. Kara Chapman, North Country Public Radio, Plattsburgh.
We have more news all the time on our website, ncpr.org. Music today by Lost in Beijing of Keene and Ben Sharon of Watertown. I'm David Summerstein, North Country Public Radio.